This is my review of Aziz Ansari's modern romance.
Before chapter 1, Aziz tells a story of how he had a cool encounter with a young lady named Tanya. They were at a mutual friend's birthday party and ended up having drinks at the home of James Earl Jones, which he was renting in LA. They had a great conversation. The chemistry was flowing. When the night ended, he was faced with a huge dilemma. How was he going to let her know that he wanted to see her again without looking desperate? Call? Text? Carrier pigeon? Aziz waited a few days and sent her a text saying that the band that they saw at the party was playing in Los Angeles. He asked her if she wanted to go. Why not? He also threw in a joke about the band possibly allowing her to cover Drake's song The Motto because she was killing it karaoke style at the party. His mind then drifted off to their hypothetical future together. A few minutes later, the status of the text went from delivered to read. His heart stopped. The infamous 3 dots popped up under his text, letting him know that she was typing something. They then vanished with no response. A few minutes go by, no text back. An hour goes by, no text back. 3 hours go by, no text back. He begins doubting himself, overanalyzing his text. Maybe she's busy. Is Tanya in a coma? Did she die? He went on Facebook. She was online. He holds back the urge to send her a DM. Then he jumps on Instagram and saw that she posted a picture of a horse. You can post horse pictures, but you're too busy to text me back though. He's super salty. Salt sandwich. Maybe she simply didn't get the text. He didn't go to the concert. Instead, he went to a comedy club and talked about the frustrations of dating in the 21st century. He connected with the crowd, as they all have experienced times where their text or DMs were ignored. He asked the audience if there was a book that would help him understand the challenges of finding love in the social media era. They had no answers. So, he decided to write the book himself. Smartphones, social media, and dating sites are the obvious changes to the romance game. Years ago, people would be limited to dating within their neighborhood, through work or at school. Things are different now. Aziz sought out sociologist Eric Kleinenberg to tackle the concept of love, how it has changed over time, how people get together, why they break up, why they do or don't cheat, and various other topics. This book feels like and is written in the prose of Aziz's stand-ups. The book is well put together. It feels like an entertaining video essay that you would find on YouTube. It's equipped with text messages, screenshots, pictures, funny footnotes from Aziz, and graphs. The audiobook begins with one of the smoothest instrumentals in life. It feels like that moment in 7th grade when you wake up to a blizzard and realize that you don't have school for a week. Check it out real fast.
Penguin Random House Audio proudly presents Modern Romance by Aziz Ansari with Eric Kleinenberg. This is the author, Aziz Ansari.
The audiobook is also performed by Aziz himself, which again gives off the feeling of one of his stand-up routines. It's super self-aware as well. During the introduction, Aziz calls the listeners lazy for not reading the physical book. Let's lightly tap on a few points in the book. According to sociologist Andrew Cherlin, up until 50 years ago, people were satisfied with companionate marriages. The happiness in these marriages depended on how well the man and the woman filled their gender roles. The man brought home the bacon, the woman had the kids and took care of the house. You didn't marry because you were in love. You married because you could create a family together. This is what we called the good enough marriage. By the 80s and 90s, most adults said they wouldn't marry someone without romantic love. Now we want a passionate connection. The problem here is that searching for a soulmate can take a lot of time and generate tons of stress. This type of marriage has the highest potential for happiness and the highest potential for disappointment. This reminds me of the line from the classic B2K song, Gots to Be.
I wanna be your mother, your father, your brother, and your sister too.
When you hear most people speak about soulmates, it sounds like they're creating a player on NBA 2K. They need to have 90% of this, 100% of this, 10% of that. That way of thinking is impossible to appease because you can't have everything you want in one person. Dudes be like, she needs to look like Nia Long, know how to play Madden, GTA Online, and Fortnite. Women be like, I need a thug with the mind of a Harvard graduate, cut like a bag of dope, and have the emotional intelligence of a therapist. So you want a hybrid of Ghost from Power and Dr. Phil. good luck. I know this is super heteronormative, but brothers, if your lady is not into something that you're into, this is why you have homeboys. Ladies, if your man ain't into something that you're into, this is why you have homegirls. You're gonna wanna have things that your significant other isn't into as a means of escape. Because when they pluck your nerves, and believe you me, they will pluck your nerves, you're gonna want to escape. This is some more reading outside of the book. Author Dwayne Wells says that passionate love can only be sustained at a max of 2 years. Today we focus on marrying if we only have this type of love. But if it's your only reason for marrying, it's doomed to fail. We should marry for similarity, kindness, respect, and love. Even if you have all of that, she says, to expect everlasting passionate love is highly improbable. Mona Fishbane, a clinical psychologist, states that neuroscientists have studied madly in love folks, putting them in the fMRI machine while they look at a photo of their beloved. The parts of the brain that light up while looking at their lover are the same brain areas activated by cocaine. She says that crazy in love is a temporary state. The brain can't stand the intensity forever. At some point, the critical parts of the brain come back online, and we see our partner's imperfections.
So actually, people who jump from relationship to relationship, chasing that honeymoon high, are dopamine dope fiends, joyful junkies. It's like, nah, I'm just playing.
But seriously, what the book touches on, and from what I'm told from people who have good relationships, is that they are built through adversity. They are built after the honeymoon period is over. How do you treat each other when you don't like each other? Can you forgive? Are you empathetic? Do you argue in a healthy way? Or do you hit below the belt? Are you a good listener? Have you dealt with your personal trauma? Or are you working to deal with it? Just FYI, I ain't spoiled nothing. What I've covered so far is only 10% of the book. I have to address the elephant in the room. The topic of modern romance with Aziz feels ironic considering everything that has occurred with him recently. The dust has settled around his alleged sexual assault. In her article, The Humiliation of Aziz Ansari, Caitlin Flanagan poses the question, was Grace, his accuser, frozen, terrified, or stuck? No. She wanted something from Ansari, and she was trying to figure out how to get it. She wanted affection, kindness, attention. Perhaps she hoped to become the famous man's girlfriend. He wasn't interested. What she felt afterward? Rejected. Yet another time. By yet another man. Was regret. What I pulled from the situation? She was disappointed that she had a lackluster sexual experience with him that didn't live up to her expectations. She left his apartment with a bruised ego and sought to bury his career. By no means am I saying that all situations or all allegations are the same. There are many accounts of women and men being victims of predators. This young lady had a specific end result in mind and got let down. As stated in The Guardian, Aziz has started performing at the Comedy Cellar again. He didn't address the allegations, but he talked about his fatigue of social media outrage. Netflix says that whenever he's ready, they are down for another season of Master of None. This is great news. Master of None, with its most recent season, has cemented itself in the Netflix Hall of Fame. If you are interested in the complexities of relationships and love, if you want to hear the perspectives of sociologists and psychologists who have studied this stuff, I suggest you buy, read, or listen to this book. Whether you get the audiobook or hardback, you'll be entertained and informed. I'm giving Modern Romance an 8.6 out of 10.
And we got more movie reviews coming your way. And we got more random stuff coming your way. And we got more random stuff coming your way.